Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, where we are just about to prove that this statement is incorrect. So, Angel is saying nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. However, we know from the autopsy report that that's just not true, because the murder weapon was the knife, of course, and it says here 1 knife wound, so incorrect. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise, Jesus, the bloody lunches. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. She's not happy about that. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from 1 stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk! He's my hero, really. We were the one who said that. What about my objection? No one noticed. Well, witness. You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realise that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. I mean, she said like multiple times, didn't she? Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. ... Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Okay, so this is new, so... Her red muffler. What's a muffler? Oh, yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. That's dark. She's right. Oh, yeah. BlueSky was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? Okay, but wait. Isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? ... Well, people often mistake my beard. For a bib? What? What is he going on about? His beard for a bib, jeez. Alright, fair enough, we'll just go with it. A judge with a bib, that's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Okay, actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. Okay. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only 1 knife wound. ... Apparently, Miss Star isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Star has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. Yeah, it has, hasn't it? She doesn't like it. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Yeah, okay, we're splitting hairs there. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Okay. Fine. BlueSky intended to murder Detective Goodman, so are we back? That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Right, so this is the new thing, the red muffler. So do we have anything that can prove that this is not what it seems? Do we have anything at all? Floor plans. We've got this photo. So she was saying that it was the red... She's not even... Is she even wearing the red muffler? I don't think she is. Because the photo that it showed... Well, the flashback that it showed of her, she had it in the the detention centre or whatever it was. She's not wearing it there. Alright, let's present that then. I think that might be what we need to do here. Miss Star, I demand an explanation. What? The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. I mean, she's suited for defective work, that's for sure. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself. With this photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Why is he helping us out? Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? We're like getting screwed here, big time, aren't we? We're the one raising the objections, and Edgeworth's just stepping in and taking all the glory. But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Hopefully, because we're going around and around and around with this. Apprehending the suspect. I mean, there's going to be an inconsistency here as well. She's just making stuff up, so... After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Why would she mention that? That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. Okay, well, fine. Let's do some pressing. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rah! Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Okay, let's go on with this. Apprehending the suspect. Cross-examination. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. Press. So where is this partition on the floor plans? We know where that is. I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. Oh, that's Edgeworth, sorry. I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said. I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? Yeah, why not? I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. Okay. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Really? Amazing, the cough up queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high too. Yes, there's no way she's climbing over that unless she like climbs over the truck and jumps. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Something's not adding up there, is it? Alright, well. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Let's press this. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Oh, I think the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Okay. Her phone? She can't mean... let's ask further, yeah? By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... Is Looks like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court does not seem, Miss Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall?
That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order.
And so she used her cell phone?
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. It was. We had a look at that, didn't we?
Good witnessing, Miss.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please the rookie defense attorney. Okay, Lana's cell phone updated in the court record. The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. Fine. I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. Alright, let's press. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
Aha! I was going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Okay. So she ran over there, apparently. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. So then she climbed over and ran round.
And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence.
Then when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Okay. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star resistance is futile. I feel like she made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pâté of foie gras. That's an image, huh? She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? There was an oil drum in there, I seem to remember.
There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime.
But it's strange.
What's that?
If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way?
The other... Ah. The parking lot entrance, exactly.
That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. ... Excellent, more mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So, Miss Sky tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it, you have to believe me. Okay. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. So we've done that. Alright. I wanna have a look at this thing here. So this all happened at 5:12, right? She says that this phone call was made at 5:18 because she tried the payphone, it didn't work, so she went to the mobile. So can we actually like access anything in this? Is it possible? Didn't we open this up before? I think we did. There is like the call thing. Did we look at the call log or something? I think we did earlier, didn't we? There's no need to push this again. What's wrong? You look like I do during finals. Never mind, it's nothing. Okay, so we've got the phone. Can we do anything else with it? I didn't know if there was a way we could like access the actual call log itself. Maybe not. Okay, fine. So have we got anything else? Maybe this floor plan will help out. Is it all marked on here now? Slide. Okay. Something's not adding up though. I don't know what this is. Victim's memo found in the car trunk. Died within an hour and a half of 4 PM. This is the record of parking. Got the thing. That. Can we do anything with this? Is there any info on here that could help us out? A name and ID number are written here. Sergeant Bruce Goodman, ID 5842189. Okay, so I wonder why they only use numbers for IDs. I mean, what else would they use? Letters, silly. They're the reason we have a written language in the first place. True. Sergeant Bruce Goodman, ID Yabadab. See, wouldn't that be better? Yabadab. Well, it does have a certain ring to it. Exactly my point. Okay. Doesn't take much to amuse her. Yabba Dab, is that like a reference to Scooby-Doo with Yabba Dabba Doo? I'm guessing it might well be. I mean, if it's something else, let me know. So the word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. Is there anything else in this photo that can help us out? So the oil drum there, we can see that is still standing upright. So let's go around again. Quickly caught her, explained her rights to her and arrested her on the spot. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. Okay, so she's saying she saw her try to use the cell on the wall. That was the new statement. Let's have a look at this. So she was over in this top right corner, over here. And then this telephone is here. So what is this? That's the chain link fence. This is where the oil drum is, right? Behind the car. So this is a wall, isn't it? So could she even have seen the telephone? She might have seen her run in that direction, but I'm not sure she could have seen... Yeah, that's a solid wall. Alright, I'm actually going to try presenting this at this point, because I don't think she could have seen it. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye. Objection! The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armour, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Ah. ... Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. ... I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? That's right. Order! What's the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honour. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. What a lie. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about what she saw, where she saw it, and the order of events. So this is a tricky one. I suspect that maybe she was not on the other side of the chain link fence, right? Because she's saying that she scaled that massive 9-foot fence and she could supposedly see through a brick wall. So I don't think it's the first one. It's definitely not the last one. I think it's this one. I think she was actually in A block. Miss Skye tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie, I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Skye using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Oh, the objections are going off. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. And that, guys, is where we're going to leave it for this episode because we're out of time. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne, Nate, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle, Hobo, Numinous, Kumadin, Paul Leone, Flossie the Sheep, JohnCom555, Chrissy, Paul James, and Zolties, and I'll see you next time.